few days ago, I just hired my first AI as my first employee, and I'm gonna show you to do the same because I just use a specific prompt of which I will explain to you the essence of it so you can do too and you can do more, whatever you want with AI. So basically what I'm gonna do with you, the plan that I have is going through 3 steps. The first one, I'm gonna tell you where's AI right now. So all of the technologies, all of the advancements that happen to AI, I'm gonna explain to you just briefly, quickly, so you can understand it. The second thing, I'm gonna explain to you where AI will be in the next year. So what will happen, what are the advancements, what are we expecting, and what the people that will not use AI right now will be missing on. And the third thing, I think you will, by consequence, you understand how you hire your first AI. Okay. So the first thing that you have to keep in mind is that AI has advanced so much just in the past month. A lot of people will be like, oh, AI is slow, there's only ChatGPT, there's only Gemini, there's only Google, whatever they see on TikTok or Instagram. Just look, ignore all of those. That's called selective ignorance. Select those and ignore all of them. And the reason behind it is that because it's completely incorrect. AI, there is literally thousands of AIs that are right now out in the world that you can use. How you can use them, how you can find them, there is an AI that will help you with that. It's called What AI Can Do Today. You can just type whatever you want to do with AI and pretty much it will give you the websites. From my experience, I didn't find all of the websites that it gives you are very practical, and especially it's time consuming because you have to sign up, you have to see, then you're like, oh, there is like a plan that I have to purchase yearly or whatever. So it's really not very encouraging to do all of that, but still sometimes it might be helpful for you in a specific situation. So the reason why there is a lot of hype about AI, you see all of the big people, the big names, right? Steve Jobs was 20 years ago was talking about how AI is the big thing that we will do, right? And you see Elon Musk is all about AI, Tesla, robotics, all of it. It's just AI, right? So Elon Musk works on physical reality AI. It's different, a little bit different than chatbot, right? And how is it different? Is because it collects the data from real world. As an example, there's Teslas. So Teslas collect the data of all the Teslas. They're walking, they're seeing the road lights, they're seeing the cars, all of the different circumstances that can begin, right? And they collect all of the data that which goes to a server. And then those data are used to better the AI. And that's why Tesla is getting better each year, basically all the time, not just only each year. And the reason behind it is because they're using more data. And the more data, the better the AI, the more efficient, the more everything. It's awesome because the more data you have, the better your answers will be in a chatbot, and the same thing goes with physical AI, which is the thing with Tesla, and that's why you see Tesla is avoiding some crazy scenarios where it has 0.millisecond to just react, and the reaction and actually saves the people, and in those circumstances it's basically based on the data. A human alone will not be able to do that because probably we have our own deficiencies with tiring, etc., and also our reaction time can be different on what we did that day, what we ate, what we slept, how many hours we had in sleep, and etc. So it's awesome, and AI will never do that. Okay, now that you know the importance of AI, you know that AI is the big thing, right? It's literally the computers in the 80s. It's literally the phones in the 2000s. It's literally Bitcoin in 2013. It's the same thing. It just, or YouTube in 2005 to 2008. It's this next big thing that everybody will be on, right? One point or another. So, and the people, you can choose to not use AI. It's your freedom, obviously. But the thing is, what do you win or lose with not using AI? Because I know a lot of people will be like, I don't want to use technology. Guess what? That's what your parents did. And that's why in your entire life, you're trying to teach them how to use WhatsApp and they're having difficulty because they just didn't choose to learn the latest of technologies. And for sure, they missed a lot. And you can agree on that too. So do you want to be like your parents? Do you want to be like your grandparents? No, you want to be like you, what you think. So do what I'm telling you. Literally, go use AI all the time. And the thing with it is like, it might be a little bit difficult to use AI right now. Like, I understand, because that's what it is. YouTube at the beginning, it was very hard for you to edit videos, film the entire production. You kind of like have to do it yourself. But later on, everybody was like, oh, here's how I did it, here's how I did it, and there's all of these tricks and tips and everything. So YouTube became easier. But the thing with it is that the easier it gets, the more competition there is. There's millions of YouTubers right now. There's everybody who wants to become a YouTuber. It's absurd. But the thing with it is like, a decade ago, not everyone wanted to become a YouTuber. So the people that wanted to become a YouTuber are by definition are very unique and are more likely to actually succeed. It's that it's that simple, because they just have to be in it and you have to try their best, etc., etc. So now even if you try your best, you might not get to the point that you can get 10 years ago. Alright, so that's the point. That's the point that you have to comprehend. You're like, okay, that's awesome. I understand that AI is the biggest thing that I have to get in, or I'm going to miss on the biggest bull run of this century, or probably, I would say it's the century, because AI is literally going to have a long-lasting effect on us. Awesome. Okay, so what's going to happen in the next year with AI? Here's the thing. Like, I've been using AI for the last 2 years continuously, right? There's days where I use it multiple times a day, right? And the thing is, like, it now gives you personalized data. You know what I personalized answers based on your data. Because you see, when I told you about Tesla collecting all of the data with the Teslas, you can do that with ChatGPT. Just give him the data, give him your data. Like literally last week, or just like a few days ago, I gave him a database that I have on myself. So like an analysis that I did on myself, there's all of the data that is collecting. It's insane detailed data. And I just gave him and I was like, hey, tell me what you think. And analyze it and make decisions for me. I already analyzed it and made the decisions myself. But he was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to give him and see what he can do. He gave me a very good analysis. And let alone that he gave me another advancements. I was like, you see, there's this thing that looks like it does not have a direct effect on the results that you want. So probably you should not, like, it's not the priority if you track. And I was like, what? He said, yeah, it's actually correct. Well, if you think that it is important that you include it in your tracking, sure you can, but I just don't think that it actually is. And he was like, okay, this actually makes a lot of sense. It's not because I'm dumb. Okay, I'm not dumb. I'm not like I'm stupid. No, it's because there is 18 different metrics for 30 months, right? It's a lot of data, and that's why I am telling you. Like, I made good decisions out of that analysis, but the AI gave me another perspective that I think it's actually very important, because the same database that I had, I actually gave it to my friends to fill it. So they filled it. My friends are awesome. They filled it, and they were like, it's awesome, but you just found like few weird stuff that you have. I was like, okay. I didn't care, because I was like, everybody's different. But they were like, there's a few things that are weird, and also we think that you should add X, Y, and Z. So one of them said, the other one didn't. But it was like, okay, this is actually awesome. Okay, do I want to use that? At the point I was like, this is not a very big deal. Now that I'm following the decisions that I have made, I'm like, well, you see what he said actually does make sense. And the thing with AI, it gives me that, but more importantly, it's giving me the reasons behind it. So I know I kind of got in depth with me using AI, and you're like, okay, I understand everything that you're saying, but I don't understand how can I use the AI myself. You have to comprehend, my friend, is that you will understand. That's what it is. You will understand. Like, just hear what I'm saying. You will comprehend yourself, so you don't wait for people to give you specific prompts to put it. Because I don't want to be that guy who's like, go to ChatGPT and tell me X, Y, and Z, that is ABC plus ABC, and I don't want this, but give me X, Y, and Z. And you're like, okay, and you just type it. Awesome, those works too, right, for high engineered prompts. But at the same time, you want to be free. Like, if I have something that is so specified, right, as an example, I want to wear clothing, right? I was like, okay, my clothing are shit nowadays. How can I improve my clothing? Okay, what are the things that I think that are shit with my clothing? Okay, it's the colors. It's cool. So how can I improve my colors? Is it the same clothing that I have, right? And it's not about the combination I use. I just use 2 colors, 3 colors. So I'm literally not breaking any laws of colors, but still are not looking good on me. Okay, is it the problem with me? I'm not taking care. No, I'm brushing my hair. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Okay, so what's the problem? It's literally with the cloth color. I can go to ChatGPT and I can type in prompts that are specified to what I said, and it will give me an analysis. And the best, like if you want specified analysis, you can tell him to actually give you questions that you can answer. So based on those answers, he gives you the analysis, then gives you the decision. Awesome, you know? And there's a lot of stuff that you can do, right? As an example, you can choose like your natural skin color. Something that is crazy insane that I've never heard of it before. And they say, well, the skin color for you to do the test in real life, like in China, it's $200. It's literally $200, but you can do it with ChatGPT for free. Of course, in addition to some other programs, because you need to get the HES code, which is like the you see like in Photoshop, there is like hashtag, there is 6-digit number. So that's literally what it is, you know? And you just take that, so you're more specified. You're not like light red or something, you know? So it's really more specified, and it gives you like, it's your dark autumn, whatever, whatever. But that's the thing, you know, these are stuff that were not accessible just, I think 1-2 years ago they were not accessible, because AI, just ChatGPT alone has literally progressed so much. Like I remember at the beginning, I was like, hey, based on the prompts that I put in and all the data that I gave you, just tell me something. And it's like, oh, I cannot actually access all of the chats that we got in. That was stupid and dumb. Now you're like, oh, give me what you think about this topic and what you think about the optimal solution for it. And look, you have to be based or as a result of all the prompts that I put in. And it's like, oh, okay, sure, I'm going to do that. And it gives you like an entire analysis of that. And you're like, oh, that's awesome. You know, and that's why I came to the conclusion of me hiring actually my first AI. I was like, look, I read books, like I read books all the time, and I'm like, I've seen all of them talking about hiring an employee, which is something that I aspire for, but I currently like don't have an employee. And it seems like every characteristics they gave to the best employee that you can hire, or your first employee, is literally AI. Is he better than me? Of course he is. He has more data, he has more knowledge, so of course he is. Does he have more specified knowledge? Of course he is. As I told you, I can give him something so specified. I will tell him like, how can I, some crazy stuff, how can I automate some detail in, look, I'm not going to even give an example because I'm sure it will be limiting to the AI, but you can give him some specified knowledge. I'm telling, like the colors that I just gave you, the color analysis, it's specified knowledge. Like look, the chances of finding someone that actually knows those without, like, let's say without filtering the population, it's really less than 1% of people. I'm pretty sure, right? But the thing is, like, he knows that. And he actually perfects that. Not only knows, but perfects that. So you actually eliminate all of the doubts, all of the mistakes that humans do, etc. Because he's literally a system. He's a program. Now that's good. Now you understand what's the importance of AI. You understand where AI is heading and how. Look, just in the past month, there's countless AI that have been out. Probably like 100 or few hundreds. I'm pretty sure, right? At least tens of AIs. And I can't think of how the speed will be the next year. Because a few years ago, AI was developing very slowly, right? So a few AIs a year. The rate is literally going up exponentially. There's so many AIs that what you actually can use. Like you cannot use all of the AIs, you know. And there's people that are combining AIs. Like you see ChatGPT and Leonardo and something. I've just seen someone on Instagram making an AI that can just replace your t-shirts. So you don't have to go do photo shoot. You just take a picture, right? Or get a picture or whatever. You just put it into the program. He will change the picture. He will change the t-shirt for you, and that t-shirt you will choose it. So we give him the model. So here's the t-shirt that I want, and he'll be like, oh, okay, it's awesome, and he does that, which is a combination of few AIs, and also he does like a few other stuff. But I'm pretty sure that that's the main thing. And you're like, oh, it's awesome. Like, people were spending hundreds of dollars on studios just to film them. Now they can just get that with AI. And also there is another video that I've seen with a studio, like a recording studio that makes music. He was like, I've been spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars just on mixers that will mix my audio for me. But I just found out this AI that will mix all of my videos, and actually the results are pretty shocking, like are insanely good, right? And the guy seems like he knows what he's talking about. Like he said, like I have few years of experience, I don't know, like 6 years, 8 years, whatever, and of spending hundreds of dollars. Probably he knows what I'm saying. And for him, like in this case, like imagine it's your case. If you have a studio and you use the AI mixer, and there's another guy that doesn't use the AI mixer, he cannot win on you, because one, you have more cash flow, you have more profits that you put into the baseline, so you improve very faster, or just you improve your life. If you don't want to invest in the business, you invest in yourself. You'll have more cash flow to really have a better mental state, right? To achieve your financial freedom, to achieve your location freedom, to achieve your geographical freedom, time freedom, whatever. Or hire someone else, you know? It's those stuff that, and that guy, if he never uses AI, he has like few months, right? 2 months, 3 months probably. He will probably never get into the wave again. Which is actually true. It's like he probably will never catch it. And it's a sad thing. It's pretty sad. So you don't want to be that guy. You want to be the guy who uses AI for him to get him. And look, I always say this, you will not get replaced by AI. I will not get replaced by AI. Nobody will get replaced by AI. But you will get replaced by people that uses AI. Like me. You want to be like me. Use AI, my brother. Use AI all day long, every day, in everything you do. Be like, oh, well, before I spend like 10 hours doing this task, can AI do it better than me in like 5 minutes? For free? Oh, sure, okay. Why not? Why will I spend 10 hours? You know? And the same thing goes on every task. Which is awesome. Okay. Now I'm pretty sure that you understand like how AI is the next big thing and you want to hire AI yourself. Okay, so if you didn't like come to the conclusion how you hire AI, so I'm going to tell you something that's very important about AI, which is it's not about the AI you use, it's about the prompt that you put in. Let me explain. Let's say you use an AI from 10 years. I'm not going to say 10 years later because probably it will be better, but let's say you use the best AI that is out right now. Even if you use the best AI, if you don't give him the best prompts, probably will not get the best results. You might get some good results, but not the best results that you can get. Okay, so what's the difference? Like, I want to get the best results for every prompt that I put in. You have to learn how to make prompts. So, just to not too overcomplicated, because there is like courses, literally courses on prompt engineering. I've seen some reviews that says they're horrible, right? You know, and you know, they might not be accessible for you, whatever. Nobody cares. The thing is, like, from what I found is, you want to make good knowledge, good questions, just like you're actively hearing someone. So you don't want to say, hey, why I didn't get an A in the past exam. Probably give you some bullshit answer. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Go fuck yourself. But it's like, he will give you a bad answer. They will be like, oh, AI is not good. AI is bullshit. No, you're dumb. That's what it is. You have to give him, like, just avoid saying why. avoid saying why, except at the end of the prompt, and you're like, and tell me why, or explain to me why. So you understand, like, especially if it's a decision, you understand more why it's happening and why you have to do it, whatever. But for a prompt, you want to be actively listening. So think about it like this. Use how, what, where, when, who. These specific questions are just way better, right? So it's like, instead of saying why I didn't get an A in my exam, you'd be like, what's the one thing that prevented me from getting an A in my last exam of X, right? And here's all the data that I have. As an example, I have revised all of the lessons for X, Y, and Z time or whatever, and I talked to X, Y, and Z, and I did A, B, C, and still I didn't get an A. So while on the other hand, there's this guy who is my friend who did A, B, C, A, F, G, whatever, A, X, Y, and Z, and he got an A plus. So what's the difference, and tell me why that happened? And he will give you exactly what you want. It's the same questions. Literally the same question, but now you're literally leading the AI to give you what you want. So you don't want him to lead the conversation. You lead the conversation. And it's like, Aladdin and the genie. Like, the genie will probably give you whatever you want, but if you say, I've seen this. It's actually in the movie. He's like, Prince. That's all what he said. And he said, you dumb. You have to be specific. Because if you say Prince, just like that, because he thought that I am a prince, but he didn't say it. He just said Prince. The genie can give him a dog named Prince. He can give him a literal prince that can come and become his friend. He can give him some other thing that is named Prince. Right? And he can give him all of these stuff that have no idea about have no relationship with what he actually wanted. So he has to be more specified and say, I want to be a prince now, as an example, right? And it's those things that you want to have, right? And it's the same, like, literally, you see all of the 3 wishes that Aladdin gave Genie. You have the same opportunity right now with AI. Probably it will not like change the physical reality yet, but it will give you the knowledge, just like the genie. Like, if you ask anything the genie, if you ask him anything, or like, what's the thing, whatever, all of the information that the genie can give you, AI can give you as well. Because he has a big database, and he can also give you information about you. Be like, okay, if his database is the web, I'm not in the web. What happens to me is not in the web. What I think is not in the web. My business is not in the web. So how can you literally give him your data? You're like, here's my data. You ask him something about it. Then every time, because he has now a memory, every time you will ask him, you'll say, okay, what do you think for my specific situation I should do in this case, X, Y, and Z? And you'll be like, oh, well, here's what I think and here's why. And you'll be like, oh, this is actually pretty good analysis and pretty good decision making. If you actually don't agree with everything he does, and this happened to me too multiple times, I'm like, hey, ChatGPT, why the hell did you just delete this? Like, explain to me why, because I think this is very important. He's like, well, here's what I think. He's not, and also, like, there's one prompt that I told him, because I noticed something, that he's sometimes a little bit playing in the safer side. He doesn't want to be too aggressive and stuff like that, which I understand, that's like the rules or whatever. I comprehend. So I just told him, I was like, hey, tell me X, Y, and Z. And it was like a very long prompt, but I told him, I was like, just don't be a pussy. Give me what I want. And he gave me literally what I want. And he was trying for weeks, trying to get the answer. He just gave it to me because I told him that. So it's about the details that you put in the prompts, and there's words that makes all the differences. And how to hire him, you still didn't know? You tell him, hey, ChatGPT, I want to hire you for my first hire. And be like, oh, it's awesome. Now I'm very happy, and look, I'm going to be always for you and with you. And you can always ask me. It's really that simple. And that's what it is. You have to be specified with everything you say, ChatGPT or any AI really. And really the people that will use AI will be way more powerful than people that don't. And matter of fact, my hypothesis is that the people that will not use AI in so many fields, they'll be completely eliminated. Just like the people that didn't advance like 20 years or 30, 40 years ago when the computer or phones came out or this, all of the major changes in technologies, the same thing will happen. Subscribe.